Hello everyone, welcome back to 40 Plus Life, or welcome if you're new. I'm Veronica. Yes, I am. I'm Veronica, and today I'm going to be going over my July 2021 closeout since it's now August. So let's get to this already. Okay, so first things first is this is my cover page for the month. My new one now looks like this. Which I like much better just because I have more room for my goals and just some extra notes in case I want to write something down. I am no longer doing the debt totals since I'm finally making use of my debt breakdown sheet, so we are just going to forget this right now. Yes, we are. And let me just go over my mini goals to see if I even did any of it. So let's get another color pen. Add at least 100 to my emergency fund. I sure did. Have at least 15 no spend days. You know what? I didn't even check. That could be helpful here. Let's see. Okay, I didn't even finish this last week, which is what I was gonna do in this video anyways, okay? All right, got my trusty, what are they called? Highlighters. So let's highlight the rest of my no spend days here, which will begin here. No spend, and no spend. So now I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, well, I knew I wasn't gonna make it for this month anyways, just because I went on my little trip and there was just a bunch of stuff going on. So that's okay. So I did not, but I did do 11 no spends. Okay, this pen is not working. Close enough. Okay, deposit 100 into my Christmas envelope. Okay, I'm switching to red. Okay, Christmas envelope. For the month of July, I did 120, which is great, because I'm now at 500. I have 150 more left. My goal is to have this filled by October. I definitely will have that done sooner than that. So yeah, that is my goal here. So deposit 100 into Christmas envelope. Yes, indeed. I did 120. Focus on paying debt, less on all envelopes. Haha, that didn't happen at all because, you know, things happen and I decided I am not going to focus on paying on debt right now. I'm paying, of course, at least the minimum. On my smallest one, I try and pay a little bit more. But I am helping my daughter out with some stuff right now. So this kind of has to go on the back burner because she takes priority. So this is a no-no. So I'm just going to cross these out because those did not happen. And then focus on Christmas and travel envelopes, which I did because I needed to fill up my travel envelope so I can go on my trip to San Diego. So those definitely did. Okay, so that is it for the cover page. Short and quick. That's how I want it to be. And now I can fully close out the calendar view. So everything is done up into the week of through the 24th. So I'm just going to highlight all my little spendings here because those are things I did. And all of those actually, I added a V here for video. When I wrote these down, I did not put this here. I was like, and when I came back to this later, I was like, what did V stand for again? I forgot. I couldn't remember for the longest time. And then I realized it was when those are the days I was releasing my YouTube videos. And so that's why later on I put this little legend here so I wouldn't forget. I also have it on my Google Calendar, but I wanted it to also be here because there was a reason. So to remind me in case I didn't look at my Google Calendar that, hey, that's when I'm going to be releasing a video, or that's when I did release a video. Okay. Before I do that, let's just check to make sure my expense tracker is up to date which is, I don't think it is. So let me just check here what I had spent. So this is through the 29th, and on the last day I did spend a couple things just with my my cash envelopes. So I went to Goodwill and I went to PetSmart again. Oh yeah, because the first time I went to PetSmart, I forgot to not go. I went to the wrong PetSmart, which doesn't have the Bansfield anymore, so I couldn't get the prescription food because I have to go to a different one, which is farther away. I went to the one that was close to me. So I was like, so I was there and I just got stuff for my dog, Nugget, and then later on Saturday I went to the other PetSmart so I can get the prescription food for Ollie. So that's why that's there twice, so I don't get confused. Which I was getting confused, so that's great. Okay, so 7:31, I did PetSmart, and oh shoot, these don't go here. This is for my checking account. Let's go to the proper tracker. Oh, and look, I already wrote it down, so this is why. This is why I do in advance, so that I wouldn't have to think about it later. And I didn't spend anything else on my checking accounts, and so that's why this is not filled out anymore past the 29th, which is great. So these are all up to date. I mark what my needs and my wants are, but since these are my cash envelopes, I don't care too much about these because these are made to be spent. For the expense tracker, oh, I had all needs here, and that has never happened, so that is amazing to see. These are all things I needed to get. I didn't do any excess spending at all. July was a vast improvement compared to June, I'll tell you that. Although, of course, now there's more things that have come up, helping out my daughter and stuff, but you know what? That's okay. I'm not spending any other things that I don't need to, so now I can just focus on helping out my daughter. Okay, so now we're going to go to the main course here. Okay, so I zoomed in a little, see if that'll help, because I always feel like I'm a little farther away. So I've already put in my actual income here. So this was my actual paycheck number 1, my paycheck number 2, my rental income. I didn't get any payment from my daughter. This is a miscellaneous income that I got, and this included any sales from my Etsy, any side work that I did, any user testing, stuff like that. And then this was my actual rollover from the previous month. And that was my total. So now I'm just going to quickly fill out the numbers right here, and then we'll just go over it. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote out all the numbers, and then I don't even know if you're able to see all that. Sorry, I never check. 4,361 was my total there. 6619 minus 4361 leaves me with 2,258. All right, so let me just go over these really quick. So a lot of this I went over in my mid-month check-in, so the only thing different here was renter's insurance came out, Fast Track ended up being a little bit more. This is a little toll box thingy that you keep in your car, or I have it, now you don't have to keep it in your car anymore, you just have to have license plates connected to it online. And my daughter uses this back home in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So that's what those are. YouTube Premium came out, Google Workspace. Dental insurance came out. Adobe came out. Okay, here's a couple changes. So my budget for groceries was $200. I ended up going way more than usual with $280. I think after I came back from San Diego, I spent $100 at once, which I usually just do around 50 to 60 per week. But I did that just to kind of catch up on more stuff. And I realize now that I'm actually going to raise this budget. I'm going to raise it to $250 a month because, which I'm not even sure if I did that in the August budget with me, but I think I thought about it later. I'm going to raise it to $250 because I don't have like a toiletries, is it toiletries? Toiletries or household envelope or anything like that. I just lump it all together when I do my groceries. So I think I'm going to add $50 to this for the month, and so that'll be able to include like when I get paper towels and toilet paper and stuff like that. So that's what all this ends up being. And then gas, when I did this budget originally, I did not factor in that I was driving to San Diego. And so that's why my gas is way, way higher than it usually is. So that was my total there. And then miscellaneous, my budget was $200. I spent $155, and that's because this first 87, I had to think for a second what this was from. This is because I had, because I don't need it anymore, an auto ship for my cat's prescription food, which is a giant bag. And so yeah, it's $87. But now that Ollie's on a different prescription, I'm not doing this one anymore. What I got for him now, I probably will go back to Chewy to do it again, but as of right now, I've just been buying them at PetSmart and taking it out of my Pets Fund, Pets envelope. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I actually would prefer to just take it out of my envelopes instead of doing this, because then I never budget for this, because this only came out, like once every 2 months or so. So we'll see. We will see. So adding this to, and plus that Amazon order that I got, which was $68, which was getting bully sticks for my dog, and then a couple things for my shop. So it was really very small. So this is actually really good for me. If it wasn't for this Chewy order, it would only been $68. And then this Red Wolf was my last payment. This is a timeshare that me and my ex-husband of many, many years ago got, that we were really, really young. And yeah, never get a timeshare. Okay. I have never used it, just so you know. I really would like to use it at least once in my lifetime. So these are maintenance fees, basically, that I didn't know about. Blah, 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 because, yeah, horrible. Every time I talk about it, I hate it. Okay, moving on. So my balance here, $2,258. Flip this over. So we can now add up my final numbers for my debt payments. Okay, so let me just do this really quick. Okay, so the total added up here was $1,232. And the only thing that was different here was my car payment of $349 and this care credit payment of $74. So 1232 minus 2258 leaves me with $1,026. And as you can see from my original budget, I was negative here. My mid, I was positive, which was great, and now I'm definitely much more positive. So, doing the final bit here is the savings section. So my emergency fund, I ended up putting in $100 because $50 comes out of my paycheck automatically each month and gets deposited into my emergency fund. My 52 weeks challenge, I ended up putting in, this is for July. So I ended up putting in 30. So I did not do the 40, I did 30. And then my sinking funds, I had to double check. So for my sinking funds, I ended up putting in $833 for the month of July. So adding that up gave me a total here of $963 minus 1026. That gives me $63 left for the month. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. You know, I am human and I'm sure somewhere or other there's something wrong. There's some kind of mistake or whatever. Because I know going into August, I do have a little bit, I have more than this as a rollover. So somehow or another, I'm sure I'm missing something. Maybe I forgot to add something or whatever, but you know what? That's okay. As of this, what I have done here, I am positive $63, and that is all that I could ask for. So I am just gonna leave it at that. And as I keep doing this over and over and over, somehow or another, I'll get it straightened out where it's always perfect, but you know that'll never happen. Okay, and the last thing I'm gonna do, because I think I forgot to do this last month, is my monthly overview for July. So here I am just going to write out everything. I'm not gonna put like different spots here, like, you know, because I have so many different kinds of income that's coming in. I'm just gonna put the total amount. So total income for the month of July was $6,619, which will also go here, $6,619. My total debt paid was $1,132. And then my total saved was, this is just going to be, this is not going to include sinking funds. This is going to include what I put on my savings tracker. So it is my emergency fund, my emergency fund, my 2 mini savings account that I have in my checking accounts, and my rainy day envelope. So that's the only envelope I'm going to count because I consider that a mini savings. So it's not going to include any sinking funds. It's not going to include any investments, anything like that. So the total amount here, this is just for the month of July, that I had saved is $191.03. These I'm just going to write out. These, I'm trying to think why I do this. Because I already did this on my savings tracker. I know it's an overview, so I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to change this for the future because I have my savings tracker and my debt breakdown tracker, so I don't feel like I need to write out the same thing again. So I'm not going to do this because it's all written right here. So, yeah, so this is whatever. Real life, we're just going to leave it like that. But I will write down what goals I achieved because that is a good thing to, it's always good to focus on goals. So I'm going to, my goals achieved was adding more to my emergency fund, depositing at least 100 to Christmas envelope, and then focus on Christmas and travel envelopes, which is what I did. Now, what I can improve on, I would like to improve on paying more to debt. I really, really would like to. It's just a little hard right now because I'm trying to help out my daughter, my younger daughter. A few years ago, around the same age, my older daughter had some problems too, and I had to help her out. So I guess it's this age, you know, she's 21. She'll be 22 later this year. And you know, it's hard. It's hard. You're at that time of your life where you're like, you're a young adult. You want to have fun. You had all this money. And then you see how quickly it goes. You see how quickly it goes. And it doesn't come back as quickly. Like, you can't gain all that money back. You know, you have to really work for it. So it's a learning time for her. And I hope that everything that she is going through, that she learns from it and she grows from it, and she has to learn balance. And I told her this, she's got to balance. You got to save and you got to keep it saved. You have to, you know, I'm just teaching her things that I learned way late in life, and I'd like her to be able to do better than I did when I was her age. I understand, you know, I remember being 21 and all the fun I had, you know. Both of my daughters, they're out on their own, and it's harder. It's hard to be an adult, and they also both live in California. Because, you know, we were all of us, we were all born and raised there, so California's kind of hard to leave, too. I'm in Las Vegas. I have my house there, and I love my house. I don't want to sell it. You know, I have a place to go to if I ever do go back. So, for sure, I love my little house. So, paying more to debt is what I would like to improve on. My daughter's learning, and my older daughter learned. So, it's just a cycle. You gotta learn. So, you get down to a point where you're like, oh no, what do I do? And then you learn from it. So we've all been there. So paying more to debt is something I like to focus on, but me helping my daughter is way more important because I don't want her to suffer, but I'm not gonna, like, you know, give her handouts either and expect, you know, let her think that, oh, it's so easy, you know. My mom, you know, helped me when I needed help, but she didn't, like, you know, she didn't coddle me, or, you know, she wasn't always there to, like, help me. She was always there, I have to say, but she made sure I learned, you know, from my mistakes as well. So I'm just rambling now, so that's cool. So improvements, how many times am I going to say pay more to debt? Yes. I'm going to pay more to debt when I can, okay? And I would love to, improvement. This isn't what I want to do. These aren't goals. This is just an improvement. And paying more to debt is definitely an improvement because I haven't been able to, but that's because I'm trying to help my daughter. Other improvements. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that and come back to it. If I do ever add more stuff to this, we'll go over it. But for right now, let's leave it at that. So now that that long-winded story is out of the way, that is going to be it for my 2021 July budget closeout. July is done. We can now focus on August. I can't believe it's August. I mean, kids are gonna go back to school. The fall months are coming. I mean, what the heck? Before you know it, it's gonna be Halloween, which I love. One of my favorite holidays. Okay, so on that note, that will be it here. Thank you as always so much for watching. I really appreciate if you watched this entire thing, I commend you. Because I know it can be hard watching and listening to other people's stories and whatnot. Not everybody wants to watch all of it. They only like to see certain things. Like, people love cash envelopes. Some people love stories, you know, some people might. So, again, if you did watch this whole thing, thank you so much. I love you. So please do give this video a like. Please comment if you so desire, and if you haven't yet, please do subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. I was gonna say next month, but I mean, I guess technically. But when this video releases, it's August, so it's already next month, so hi. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.